Hi all, and welcome to this spot guide of one of our favorite wingfoil destination, Fuerteventura. Who we are? We are a wingfoil loving family. That's me. I am a beginner level. Then there's my husband, which is an expert level, and our little kid who is enjoying the wingfoiling holiday with us too. So why we loved Fuerteventura so much so that we spent our last two wingfoiling holiday there. Discover all this information in this spot guide, plus all the tips you need to know to enjoy a wingfoiling there. And let's see. You can see there our favorite location, Fuerteventura, and where all the spots are located. In the south, you have Sotavento, a popular destination because the GWA Wingfoil Tour took place there many times. And then in the north, you have many spots around the Corralejo area. And for this reason, we prefer to stay in Corralejo and in the north part of Fuerteventura because there you have many spots to choose from. You have some spots colored in green, those are the beginners level spots, some spots in orange for intermediate levels, and then red spots for experts. Let's begin with the spot located directly in the city center of Corralejo. Therefore, it's named Corralejo Viejo. And another name of this spot is also Waikiki Beach because it's directly at this place, so you can find the Waikiki restaurant there. And what is really cool about this spot is that you can access from the same beach two different spots. So the beginners level spot, which is called Corralejo Viejo, but then you can also access an expert level spot called Rocky Point, which is a wave spot and really performing really well and giving you really high waves when you have a good north wind. And let's see how it looks like. So you can see from the map, it's really in the city center of Corralejo, and on the left side you have the beginners one, and here you see my husband and my little kid enjoying the view of the spots, seeing you, and I want to show you where's Corralejo Viejo entrance point and where you have to go to reach the Rocky Point by sailing a little bit abeam. You can see practically you can park anywhere in the city of Corralejo, but there in the south you can get this parking, which is really practical. You park directly there at the beach, so you can load easily your equipment, and there is a walkway to lead you to this sandy beach. And this part of the beach is also protected from wind, which is good, especially if you are traveling with kids like us. We wanted to show you in this map where actually the parking is located. So you can see the blue arrow there, and with the blue point is where we used to park. And then the zones where you have to avoid winging because there the shore is very rocky, so try not to go in those rocky zones. I experienced it and it's not good for your file. You can see here in green where you can enter this spot. So basically you can either enter directly from the beach and you have to go with your foil up until reaching the sea buoy, or alternative you can carry your own equipment until reaching the designated entry point, which is a walkway located immediately in front of the Waikiki Beach restaurant, where also the Wingfoil School is located. So you can have these two different options. I personally suggest for beginners to use the walkway so that when you enter, you are already in good condition. You don't have to be so afraid of your foil not hitting the shore. If you stay in the bay, you will get flat water, and the wind is quite mild, even in days of very strong wind. So this is the ideal spot for beginners. But then if you sail outside the bay and you pass immediately after passing, let's say, the harbor, then you will notice a strong increase in terms of wind and also in terms of waves. And you can continue foiling, continue sailing a beam until you reach the rocky point. And once you are there, you have also to bear in mind that you can find also some surfers there. So always take into account this and give always priority to the surfers. You can see the beach is sandy, but the shore is rocky, and especially under low tide condition, you can see how the shore looks like. Here also, under low tide condition, you can wing foil. Now comes the second spot right outside Corralejo, and according to my personal taste, is the most picturesque spot where I have ever been, and it's called Flag Beach. It's so cool because it's located in the Dunes National Park, so you can appreciate those sandy dunes, and the beach there is really wide and ample. Therefore, it's really loved by kite surfers, so you will probably encounter more kite surfers and wingfoiler there, because for wingfoiling the conditions there are quite difficult, in the sense that despite being a sandy beach, what you find there is a rocky shore and also choppy waves, which renders the entrance quite difficult if you are not, let's say, at least an intermediate level wingfoiler. But you can see, I mean, the water there has such amazing colors. There is this gold sand, and it's just marvelous. It's absolutely a place to visit and a spot to try out. For our Try Daddy, it was really fun to wing foil there, and you can see it's really an amazing and picturesque spot. When you enter, you have to go with your foil up. And what is also cool about this spot is that, for other spots in Fuerteventura, you have these rocky structures to protect you from wind, which are called the corralitos. Or either you can also find some sheltered area right beyond, let's say, the dunes. So our kid really loved there and played there without being disturbed by the strong wind. Now it's Majanicho time. That's actually my favorite. Why I love Majanicho so much? Because like it's for Corralejo Viejo, this spot features in the same beach. You have actually two spots, a beginner level spot for me, but also one of the most spectacular expert spot of Fuerteventura, especially for the ones loving waves. So it's really a very wild spot. You can see it's almost in the middle of of nowhere in the so-called Northern Territory. You can reach the spot by a forest road leading you to this small fishing village called Majanicho. You can see it's really small and it's really wild there. And this part of the road leading you there, it's quite bumpy, but don't be afraid because it's really a small part of the road. You can see just in 2 minutes riding, you will reach the spot and you can park directly there at the spot. which is really convenient, especially when carrying your own equipment. And you can see in blue is shown where the parking and the spot is located, and zones to avoid, also always depicted in red are located. Here it is, you have these rocky stones, and you can enter practically from any part of the beach, but you have to bear in mind that you have to lift your foil for a little while until you reach the right deep. Right inside the bay is where the freestyle zone is located, and usually you get there flat water and let's say which and the right condition also for beginners. But and here you can see our Try Daddy doing some maneuvers and having fun in the freestyle zone, which actually is the only part that I could film. It's really difficult if you have kids to film. And then if you leave the bay and you go outside the bay, you get this wave zone in which our Try Daddy got really the most amazing waves in Fuerteventura so far. And he was just so amazed by this spot, he wanted to go back. Then we have another amazing spot located 20 minutes far from Corralejo city, and it's called Puerto Lajas. This spot is very, very wild, not as wild as Majanicho, but still very wild. You can see there is just this small village called Puerto Lajas, and we consider this spot intermediate level since you have waves, but those wave area provides waves which are actually not as difficult as the one that you get in Majanicho or in Flat Beach. You can see how to reach this spot. So this is the small village, and then you actually go through the main road until you reach Forest Road, and the parking is directly there at the spot, and you can recognize it very soon, because usually when there is good condition, good north wind, then it gets crowded very easily. You can see, so this is where the parking is located with the blue arrow and the spot entrance, and there is these red zones where the shore is the water is too shallow and the shore is rocky, so tend not to go there. And here is where actually you can enter, and you have always to carry your foil up until reaching the right steepness of the water, and here is where actually the wave point is. You can see here our Try Daddy trying his windsurfing for the first time, and he really was so amazed because this was the first time that he was winging the waves, because actually we are living in Lake Garden, we don't get these type of waves. You can also actually go wingfoiling to this other place, and you can enter by, let's say, in the south part of the bay. And we went there when there was a strange wind coming from the south, and nowhere, there was no wind nowhere, but unexpectedly we found the good conditions there with south wind. The water was flat. You can see the parking is directly there at the spot, also in this other part of the spot, and you enter always with your file up, and then you have this freestyle flat water condition with our daddy having some fun with his wing foil. Now it's time for Sotavento, the only spot we tried out in the south. Actually, there is also another spot which is Matas Blancas. Here in Sotavento, you have this really a really long lagoon where the water is so shallow, and it's a paradise for kite surfer, but unfortunately not for wingfoilers. So you can see where you are actually parking your car and where you can go wingfoiling. So you have to go across the lagoon and carry your own equipment for quite some time. So this is the lagoon where you cannot go wingfoiling, but look at the spot, is such amazing, looks simply marvelous with that water, with the sandy beach, is a must visit spot. And here you always get flat water. It's perfect for freestyler, and the only thing that you have to consider is that here the wind is offshore, so therefore it's not really a good condition for beginners. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and let's see you to the next spot guide.